Archbishop Gomez addresses rise of wokeness, social movements in U.S. On Thursday, Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles discussed the rise of new secular ideologies and movements for social change in the United States during a virtual address to the Congress of Catholics and Public Life in Madrid. He asserted that it is important for the Church to understand and engage these new movements, not on social or political terms, but as dangerous substitutes for true religion. Today's critical theories and ideologies are profoundly atheistic, Gomez said November 4. They deny the soul, the spiritual, transcendent dimension of human nature, or they think that it is irrelevant to human happiness. Gomez's thesis, he said, is that the new social movements that exist in the U.S., such as social justice, wokeness, identity politics, intersectionality, or successor ideology, should be understood as pseudo-religions, and even replacements and rivals to traditional Christian beliefs, and can result in tribalism. They reduce what it means to be human to essentially physical qualities, the color of our skin, our sex, our notions of gender, our ethnic background, or our position in society, he said during the address. With the breakdown of the Judeo-Christian worldview and the rise of secularism, political belief systems based on social justice or personal identity have come to fill the space that Christian belief and practice once occupied, Gomez said. Gomez approximated today's social movements to that of Marxism and noted that they resemble other heresies found in church history. Like the Gnostics, they reject creation and the body, Gomez said. They seem to believe that human beings can become whatever we decide to make of ourselves. These movements are also Pelagian, believing that redemption can be accomplished through our own human efforts, without God, he said. Gomez criticized groups of people involved in social movements for prioritizing a global civilization, built on a consumer economy and guided by science, technology, humanitarian values, and technocratic ideas about organizing society, and that they have no need for old-fashioned belief systems and religions. Gomez also noted a shrinking space that Christians, church institutions, and Christian businesses are allowed to occupy with the social changes at work. We recognize that often what is being cancelled and corrected are perspectives rooted in Christian beliefs, about human life and the human person, about marriage, the family, and more, he said in the address. His message, which was delivered in 3 parts, discussed the global movement of secularization and de-Christianization, and the impact of the pandemic, a spiritual interpretation of the social justice and political identity movements in the U.S., and evangelical priorities for the Church. The COVID-19 pandemic, Gomez said, accelerated the pace at which social issues are being addressed. But it was not the pandemic that caused these movements. He referenced the murder of George Floyd as a tragedy that became a stark reminder that racial and economic inequality are still deeply embedded in our society. The new social movements and ideologies that we are talking about today were being seeded and prepared for many years in our universities and cultural institutions, he said. But with the tension and fear caused by the pandemic and social isolation, and with the killing of an unarmed black man by a white policeman and the protests that followed in our cities, these movements were fully unleashed in our society. He suggested that social movements offer an explanation for events that occur in the world, along with a sense of meaning or purpose, space previously occupied by the Christian worldview. Gomez said that the Church has been anti-racist from the beginning, but has not always lived up to our beautiful principles, or carried out the mission entrusted to us by Christ. The world does not need a new secular religion to replace Christianity, Gomez said. It needs you and me to be better witnesses, better Christians. Let us begin by forgiving, loving, sacrificing for others, putting away spiritual poisons like resentment and envy. Gomez said he draws inspiration from the lives of U.S. figures such as Dorothy Day and Venerable Augustus Tolton. Father Tolton once said, "The Catholic Church deplores a double slavery, that of the mind and that of the body. She endeavors to free us of both," Gomez said. Today, we need this confidence in the power of the gospel. He concluded his address by recognizing an authentic religious awakening in the United States and asked for the continued intercession of Our Lady of Guadalupe, patroness of the Americas.